Good morning, Creative Frugal Wonder Women, and welcome to December's Copic Club class. Today we are going to be coloring Jill Girl by Picket Fence Studios, and I am so in love with this stamp, you guys. Just love her. I love her so much that I showed you guys a bunch of different ways to color her, so super excited about that too this month. We're going to go over a couple different things. First of all, you know that to stamp your stamp, you want to use Memento ink while using Copic markers. So where you've went ahead and I have already stamped Jill Girl for you, so you should have received that in the mail or will be shortly. So I went ahead and stamped her. I stamped her on the cardstock that I found from Walmart, was it Bright, that from the previously known as Ninon. So it's a great cardstock, so you don't have to worry about it running or not absorbing like it should. So anyhow, we've got the good cardstock, we've got the good ink, and we're ready to go. So we're going to just follow our directions. And normally I would not start with the sweater. However, today we're going to add texture. So whenever you're adding texture to a image, you want to make sure that you do that image first, and I'll show you why. So we're going to go ahead and start with our sweater, and we're starting with BG 93, and we're going to do the whole sweater in the BG, the lightest color. I hope you guys are doing well this first day of December. The holiday is coming upon us quickly. So I will talk a little, which means I may not get exactly in the lines like I want because I have trouble talking and coloring at the same time. I would like to visit with you per se. I miss you guys so much having in-person classes. I hope everybody had a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. You may notice my voice is a little funky. I've had some issues, so pardon me if it cracks and is very hoarse. I'm trying to work with it here. So we're done with the BG 93. We have our base coat down. Now we're going to go on to the BG 96, and we're going to hit those areas that would have shadowing. Now this one, I've colored this girl so many times, and this always cracks me up, but we want to create her breast because those would be not as dark, depending on how endowed she is, I guess. But we're going to hit those areas. Remember, for me, I always tend to bring the sun coming from the right, so I always shadow more, like down in here would be shadowed because it's being hidden by her hands. But this whole side of her would be shadowed to me because it would not be seen, or it would not be hit by the light so much. Again, we're going to kind of create her breast. A little shadow coming from the cup. There. So now that we've got our BG 96, we'll go on to our final, the darkest color, which is the BG 99. And that's where we're going to hit the areas that would be the darkest. So here definitely would be really dark. Back in here, and there's a little line on the stamp, so that really helps. Under her arm here, maybe come down her shoulder a little bit, but then definitely up under. I want to leave a little bit because we want to create some contrast so you can see the difference. And again, here and come up. Okay, maybe come down a little bit onto the shoulder, under the hair, and back under here. So now once we've created all these highs and lows, we want to come back with the BG93 and color it all in, which is creating the, now we're just blending it. So now I've been watching and going over a lot of tutorials, and one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if they were taught by a different instructor through Copic than I was, or if they've changed things, because I could not believe I started thinking back, and it has actually been 8 years since I went through certification classes with Copic. That's just crazy to me. I can't believe it's been that long. Time flies when we're having fun, right? Okay, so one thing I was going to say is that I've noticed that some people are going with the base. You put your base down first, the lightest color always. But then instead of going light, medium to dark, and then back to light, they're going light, dark, medium, and then back, which I kind of like that idea. And I'm going to play with that more, but there doesn't seem to really be a difference. It's all on personal preference. So however you guys want to do it, there really is no right or wrong when it comes to working with Copic. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to have to rub off your nib of your marker because you've blended it with a different color. Not a big deal. These are wonderful forgiving markers, and you can get great techniques from them. So anyhow, now to create that texture onto her sweater. So I have my little baggie that I put my wide markers in, but then some other things. I have a piece of denim, and terry cloth is what I normally use for texturing. So what we're going to do, we want to add a little texture to this sweater because there is none currently. So we're going to use our Copic Various Ink Colorless Blender. And this is the ink that you refill your colorless blender with, but I have it in the big bottle because this is what I use when I want to add texture. So you take just a piece of terry cloth or whatever texture that you want to give your image, and you just add a little bit. Does not take much. You don't want to really saturate the terry cloth, and you're going to just take and you're going to just apply some pressure, and you can go around all the areas, and depending on how much is on your terry cloth and how much pressure you apply will give you a different texture. So let me see if I can you guys see that? I love it. It adds another dimension to our image. So let's see now. So now what you might notice is that the around the outside where that colorless blender kind of bled out because there was a lot on the paper, you can now take your blender and push that back in. You might have to let it dry a little bit. I notice that helps. So let it dry, then you take, remember our colorless blender is like a bulldozer. So we are taking and we are pushing our bulldozer, pushing, I'm going down, lifting up, going down, lifting up. And we are pushing that ink back over to where we want it. We don't want that green in our mittens. Or on the outside of our sweater here. So we're just taking and push. So I did do a little some things a little bit differently. I hope you like the new newsletter and idea sheet when you receive it this month. Added some more content for you guys. Make it easier. You'll know exactly what colors. There's a little list, so you'll know exactly what colors we're using this month. Okay, see there, and look at the back. We're getting beautiful, beautiful coverage. Okay, so we're done with that. That was step 2, adding the texture. Now we're gonna go on to step 3, which is her face. So we're going to start with E000 and color everything but the whites of her eyes. And you can just do little circular motions. Just add a nice base. I didn't do her lips before. But we're just adding a nice base so that we can come back and add some other colors. Next, we're going to do E01. And here we're going to come down a little bit into her forehead. Here on this side again, her hair kind of comes over, so we're want to really come down. Mainly what we're doing is creating a highlight on her forehead and her nose. So we're going to go ahead and do her eyelids, and then we're going to create some shadowing on her nose, just a little bit there, and then come down because we're, it's chilly. So we've got quite a bit of color that we want to add to her face, but leaving that highlight on her forehead. Next will be E11. And now the darkest, just shadowing coming in under her hair there. On this side especially, because her hair and the scarf is going to create that shadow. And then we're going to take where we've added a little bit of color from the E01. Now we're going to take just not as much pressure so that we get a finer tip on our E11 and just come down a little bit for the nose, okay? And maybe a little bit under the nose there, on top of the lip. And then we're going to bring some blush into her cheeks because it's chilly, R02, and we're just going to create those circles. And then come back with our E000 and blend it all in. Remember, not going over the whites of her eyes. Next, we're going to, on step 3, now we're going to go and do her eyeshadow and lipstick. I went ahead and created a smoky eye look. So we're taking, BV000 and doing her whole eyelid. The BV02, just a little bit where you would normally put your eyeshadow. Oh, I just love these colors together. Love them. Wish I could get my eye color to look like that. And then just blend that in and soften that harsh line between the BV02 and the BV000. And then for the lips, we're going to just do E04 and just add some color to her lips. Give her a nice little lipstick there. Okay, so now on to step 4. We're going to concentrate on the mug. First, we're going to take Y21, and do the cup, the mug there, and the little warmer that is around it. So on all 3 samples that I've sent you guys, I've kept the mug the same. So next we're going to do Y26, and I'm not going to touch the actual mug itself. I'm only going to do the warmer because I really want to create that highlight difference between the mug and the warmer cover. I'm not quite sure which you want to call it, but we're going to do then the top part of that cover and then come in from the sides. Remember, we want to create that highlight right down the center of the cup. Okay, and then with our final color on the mug is Y28. We're going to do not that top rim of the warmer, but now underneath it to create maybe a shadow, and then come in from each side just a little bit, and then down in here where there's going to be some shadowing because of her mittens. Okay, and then come back with our first color, the Y21, and blend it all. Love this color combination. Okay, so next we're going to go on to her hair. Step 5 is her hair. We're going to lay down a layer of E55 over all of her hair. I think her hair was my favorite part of doing this stamp, and when I saw this stamp I was just like, ah, I love her hair. Just so fun, and it's such a great illustration, and just a great stamp to use with Copics, because you get such great results when you're doing hair like this. And it looks so detailed and so difficult, but it's so not. Another reason why I love it. You know me, simple should be my middle name, I swear. I like easy but creative. Okay, so we've got the base down. Now we're going to take E57, and you want to look at the hair and kind of where you want to create some highlights. So where you want it highlighted, you want to leave it alone. Every place else, you want to add some color. And this is really, there's no rhyme or reason for the most part. I'm just creating this, so there is no right or wrong in this, and every time you do it, it's going to look different. And here we're going to have lots of the darker, leaving the highlights up at the top more. The next one is going to be E47. You'll notice we're really going back and forth. We're not staying in that same saturation color. We're going from the 50s to the 40s, which is, I like, but gives more of a contrast. When you're doing highlights like this in her hair, you definitely want that. So again, I'm just taking little bits and pieces and making them darker with the E47. Then our final color is E49, and here we're not going to add a whole lot. We're just going to go real small areas where it would be closest to the base of, you know, her scalp, or in the ends here where there would be, you want to just, I don't really know how, I'm not a hairstylist, so not quite sure how I want to explain it, but you get the idea. We're just creating these highlights. I just love this. Okay, so then to blend it all, we want to go ahead and take our E55, and you're just going to go over the whole thing. And it just softens those lines. Oh, love her. Love, love, love. Okay, so the final step is step 6, where we're going to now do her scarf and the mittens. So we're taking BG70 and doing the whole scarf. And her mittens. This is a really light one. Just really laying down that base so that we can blend well. Also gives us that nice highlight from the sun. Next, we're doing BG72, and now we're really going to concentrate on the highlights. So where do we want the highlight? Right here. This is a second. You can see that she's wrapped her sweater or her scarf. So this would be another highlight section here. So we can go ahead and color everything else. And then her mittens. I'm going to go ahead and do, I just want to create the tip of the mitten really light. So the rest of it, we're going to go ahead and use this as the base color. The next is the BG75, and now we're just again coming in where it's going to be darker on the side under her hair. This whole row, now we really want that to show, so by creating that shadow underneath and coming in from her hair. And then on her mittens, just kind of highlight these areas. Yeah, I did kind of accentuate that line between the two colors. Hit the, and I made the cuff of her mitten a little bit darker. Final color, BG78, again, just hitting those really shadowed areas. And down here. Okay, and then final is to take the lightest color, the BG70, and blend that all together. And you guys, that's it. Wasn't that just so awesome and easy? I still cannot get over how easy this stamp is to color and how gorgeous she is. This will make just a wonderful, I just sent it as a birthday card. You could send it as a thinking of you. There's just so many wonderful ways that you could do this. Now, I want to show you. So you get your instructions with this month's Copic Club. You're going to get the newsletter with a marker list, okay? There's also the link, so if you would like to purchase a stamp from Picket Fence, please, if you'd please use my link, I would appreciate that. That is another way that I'm earning my living here now. But then I went ahead and I created that idea sheet, and I had done Jill in these 3 cards. So we have in the pinks, the green, and also in red with brunette hair. And so here I've given you the other colors. If you want to change out her hair, the scarf, the mittens, the sweater, use these colors. Same thing down here. This one, I changed her skin tone also, so I gave you another combination for skin tone. So I hope you love those extra little tidbits this month. And then as your special gift this month is this piece right here. And this is made with 2 other products from Picket Fence. We have their stencils and their paper glaze. And this stuff is just so cool. It adds texture. I went ahead and I picked up just a knife from the Dollar Tree, and I put it on, let it dry like 15 minutes, and it just adds great texture to your card. So check out Picket Fence and their paper glazes. They have many different colors and tons of different stencils. I have more stencils that they've sent me that we can play with in the future, and I'm just so excited. And thank you for joining me this month, and I hope you have a blessed, blessed Christmas, and I'm looking forward to a new year, and we'll talk to you again soon. God bless. Bye.